Hello, and welcome to Plan-It Montgomery, the show that brings you the latest news on the Montgomery County Planning Department. I'm your host, Michael Brown. We have a great show lined up for you, focusing on the latest master plans, a sit-down interview with Planning Board Chair Casey Anderson, and a preview of some exciting events coming up this fall. The Rock Spring Master Plan team kicked off their work to reimagine the Rock Spring area. The meeting at Walter Judson High School was only the start of an intensive effort to look at the aging office park and determine how best to accommodate growth.
Sort of model, isn't it? Like even the thing.
This is our very first meeting on the master plan, so we are at the very beginning of the process. And I think that we heard a lot of good ideas and information from the community. We certainly heard their concerns, especially about schools. And I think that we have a lot of information to help inform us as we move forward.
We're very happy to work with the community tonight. It turned out to be a great event. We listened to their voice regarding their concerns, their ideas, and their overall vision for the future of Rock Spring, and that'll serve to provide a structure for the overall master plan.
I thought it was a very good meeting, partly because so many people came out on a hot summer night and obviously cared very much about their community and the future of the community. We knew there were issues here. That wasn't a surprise. People feel very strongly about their concerns, but that's a good thing. We want people to care about their communities and want to be inspired to work with us on this master plan. It's going to be a long process, but we need them to be active participants, so I'm very impressed so far.
The next steps after this is that we go forward to the planning board to present a scope of work. Hopefully the planning board will review our scope and timeline and hopefully approve the timeline, and then we move forward to the next community plan.
Next steps are take all the notes back that we received from the meeting tonight. We'll organize them within their groups: housing, education, recreation and green space. And we're going to go ahead and pull that forward into building a structure of orders of magnitude of items we need to look at as part of our master plan.
To learn more, go to montgomeryplanning.org/rockspring. Montgomery Planning invites you to track the progress of new site plan applications, from the moment it's accepted as complete, to the reviewing and resubmission process, to the approval with our new real-time tracker application. Go to mcatlas.org/devfinder, click on the project you're interested in, and continue on to the real-time tracker, where you can follow your application from intake to completion. Visit mcatlas.org/devfinder to get started today.
We are all about excellent design here at the Planning Department, and now you can be too. We invite you to attend the first annual Design Excellence Awards celebration on Thursday, October the 22nd, at the Silver Spring Civic Building. The ticketed event will take place from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. and will consist of a reception, a speaking presentation by Christopher Lineberger, and the announcement of the winner of the first annual Design Excellence Award. For tickets and more information, go online to montgomeryplanning.org/designxaward. Montgomery County Historic Preservation Planners have begun exploring, analyzing, and recording local mid-century modern buildings and communities, all part of the Montgomery Modern Initiative. One planner has taken this effort to new heights and has a new book to prove it.
Montgomery Modern is a study of mid-century modern architecture in the county, and it's really a research effort that we've undergone. It's developing the historic context for architecture in the post-war era, and it's a time period that's been little understood. We're raising awareness about the value of buildings from this time period. We started the Montgomery Modern Initiative a few years ago. We have a blog, And we've also been doing tours. We did a bus tour and a bike tour. They're very successful. They sold out very quickly. And it's been a great way to get the word out, to bring people out to see some of the treasures in the county. And we've also put these, we've developed guidebooks and we have them on our website. We also have a virtual tour there. So for folks who weren't able to come out for the tour, you can see them on the website. We'll be having book launch from 7 to 9 p.m. and we're going to be having books available for sale, and I'll be signing books, and I'll also do a presentation on historic architecture in the county, and we'll have refreshments too.
We had the chance to sit down with Planning Board Chair Casey Anderson to talk about a host of topics ranging from the Bicycle Master Plan to economic development in the county. Bridget Suiso has the interview.
Casey, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We wanted to get your take on some of the latest plans and projects happening at the Planning Department and the Planning Board.
Thanks, Bridget. Great to be here.
We're here in your office, and we wanted to sort of go down a rundown of projects and plans, and we wanted to start with the Bicycle Master Plan. Kicked off some of its first meetings, and there's a lot of energy behind it. What's your take on this exciting plan?
Well, I keep saying this is going to be the best bike plan ever written, and the staff keeps looking at me like I'm crazy. But what I mean by best bike plan ever is not necessarily that we're going to have the most miles of bike lanes or bike paths or sharrows or bike facilities, but that we're going to have the most sophisticated analysis ever done for a bike plan to really figure out where we can make some investments with the limited amount of resources that are available to make bicycling more appealing, safe, and attractive to more people. And that includes people who don't think of themselves as the sort of folks who would consider biking to work today, especially in a place like Montgomery County, that it was developed a very suburban pattern of transportation network, and the roads that were designed with cars in mind and not so much with walking and biking as something they were designed to provide access to.
Related to the bike plan, but different, the Capital Bike Share program recently celebrated a milestone, the 5th anniversary. What are your thoughts on how that program is doing in the county?
I think the most amazing thing about bike share is that nationally, if you take all the bike share systems, Washington, D.C. area, including Montgomery County, Arlington, Alexandria, and you throw in New York City and some of the other parts of the country that have tried it, there have been over 10 million rides on bike sharing systems really since they started taking off just a few years ago, and 0 fatalities attributed to bike share, despite the fact that bike share systems do not provide helmets. And so that goes to the point I made a second ago, which is, yes, there's risk, you can hurt yourself, but I think that a lot of people overestimate the risk of riding a bike, and with bike share in particular, I think that we've seen that it's actually very safe. Those bikes are designed not to be ridden fast, but to take your time and to make short trips. And I find that when I'm on a bike share bike, that people give you some room. They see you coming, you're upright, they're very visible, and typically you're riding them in a place where the traffic is not that fast, because they're in the more congested, downtown, more central business district type areas, and they actually tend to be more visible and safer than people think. Regarding economic development, since you've become chair, you've really stressed upon staff to consider economic development opportunities and challenges as they write these plans and come up with recommendations. That's a little bit of a shift from what the agency has been used to. Are you seeing that shift play out, and can you just talk a little bit more about that? Yeah, I think that the staff has been responsive to that. I think the people here understand that our task is less about just managing growth and it's about making sure that we have the kind of economic opportunities, job creation that are necessary to make sure we can be prosperous and that people have the quality of life that requires a certain level of resources, both in the form of tax base for public services and also incomes that support the kind of lifestyle that we're used to in Montgomery County and that can help us meet the challenges that we're facing. And really those are very different than they were even as recently as 15 or 20 years ago.
We are geared up for the comprehensive update to the county's bicycle master plan. With a series of community meetings and a cool interactive map, this plan is paving the way to improve bicycle connectivity in the county. We stopped by our recent kickoff meeting to learn more about this exciting plan.
Places that people want to.
Tonight we're holding our third kickoff meeting for the Bicycle Master Plan here in Silver Spring at the Planning Department's headquarters, where we're going to talk about the Bicycle Master Plan, the process that we're going to follow to work through the master plan, and generally the process. Following that, we are going to be working on developing the methodology for the master plan. It's going to take us about 6 months to work through that process, where we're going to look at how we can use the best data and metrics to really understand the need for bicycling in Montgomery County and the need for more sophisticated bicycle facilities.
I'm very interested in this effort to provide better bicycling environment for citizens of Montgomery County. I am a bicyclist myself. I bicycle pretty much all the time. I gave up my car 20 years ago.
We've heard a lot about the plan, and so far it seems like they're very much on the right track. Focusing not just on the riders we have today, but who we could have in the future. You know, looking at 8 to 80, young and old, and looking at stress, I think is the right way to go.
I would like to see accessibility for riders of all levels. I think it's great that we can make it accessible to the commuters, but I wanted somebody to point out where are the family-friendly places? Where is that great ride for somebody who's new to cycling? Where is that great ride for the experienced rider?
Well, behind me, there's a bicycling concerns map. This map allows residents of the community, employees of the community, to identify a number of different potential concerns in the county that they experience when they're riding daily. You can identify whether there's poor pavement quality. You can identify whether there's a lack of connectivity where you really can't get from point A to point B because there's lacks low stress bicycling infrastructure. There's other issues such as excessive speed by traffic, excessive traffic volume that can really deter cyclists. So the idea of this map is to get feedback from the public. We have already over 500 comments, and we will be looking at the comments to understand what the need is in Montgomery County and to help develop some recommendations.
It's nice to see a real comprehensive vision rather than us trying to just, pick or advocate for little things here and there, but to have a real holistic vision that I think will help the county prioritize it and just continue to raise the profile and importance of biking within Montgomery County.
Residents can get involved in a number of ways. They can attend one of the remaining kickoff meetings. They can comment on our interactive bicycling concerns feedback map. They can contact me or any one of the staff members involved, or they can send emails to us.
That's it for this edition of Plan-It Montgomery. You can learn more about these projects and plans by going to montgomeryplanning.org and connect with us online, on Twitter at Montgomery Plans, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Montgomery Planning. I'm your host, Michael Brown. Until next time, we'll be planning Montgomery.